Atramentus Stygian versus the first edition. 360 albums Tourney, first round matchup. Now, I don't know if it's Stygian or Stygian or Stygian. I don't know. Just call it my Kentucky lack of knowledge. So we'll go ahead and start with that since I can't pronounce it. Atramentus is on 20 Buck Spin Records, which I believe is out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And it was absolutely one of my favorite albums that I listened to in 2020. I don't know if it was released then or if I just stumbled upon it then, but I couldn't get enough of it. And I submitted both of these albums into the 360 albums tourney. This album is really, really slow doom, and I hear a lot of elements that remind me of really slowed down Typo Negative, and some of the keyboards remind me of stuff like Castlevania's, kind of like Dracula keyboards. I don't know what they're singing about. I have no idea. The vocals and the slow approach is this is another one of those bands that, could be making music for the Upside Down, like Demogorgon or Demodog music and whatnot. It's very heavy. It's slow. It's a type of doom that Lagavulin Stag told me is probably funeral doom, which I guess is a slower, longer version of doom. And I'm not familiar with that genre, not very familiar. He said Evoken is one of the better known bands from that genre. And I'm familiar with some of their material. They're out of New Jersey. I really enjoy what I've heard. But this album's got 3 songs. First song is like 17 minutes or so. Second song is about 4 minutes, and I don't think there's any vocals, and it's kind of mellow. And then the third song's over 20 minutes. So kind of like Miles Davis, this is another one that's really long, but just a few songs. It's very powerful, and I've got ADHD, unmedicated ADHD, and it's hard to keep my attention for songs that long, but Atramentus certainly doesn't. That's going up against the first edition. First edition, the reason why I discovered this album is due to the band Over, formerly metal band that's now, I don't know, post-rock, new wave, I don't know what you call them. Band out of Norway, but I think the album was Childhood's End. I don't know why it was so difficult to articulate. Anyway, on that album they covered I Just Dropped In to See What Condition My Condition Was In. And that song's on this album. And that song gets stuck in my head all the time. I mean, it just randomly pops in my head quite often. So I put this album on, hoping the rest of the album would be comparable to that song. And it's all 60s, kind of like, was it Strawberry wristwatch type music? 60s psych, rock, experimental. I don't have a good frame of reference for the palette and tasting notes of music from that era unless it sounds like Pink Floyd or Jimi Hendrix, which this doesn't. I mean, I guess there's some Pink Floyd-ish moments. An interesting note is that Kenny Rogers is in this band, and it doesn't sound country at all. The best songs for me are Dream On, which has nothing to do with the Aerosmith song, and I Just Dropped In to See What Condition My Condition Was In. But that album, and I listened to at least, tracks at least 40 times. That album doesn't stand a chance against Atramentus. Atramentus is, like I said, like the Miles Davis. It's long. It's just got a few songs, but they're so beautiful. I mean, it's heavy. It's so heavy that it's gorgeous to me. Another one of those albums with the adjective that I'm overusing in this bracket, gorgeous. But anyway, Stygian, I don't know. You can laugh at me being a cretin over here for not knowing how to pronounce it. Whatever it's pronounced, whatever they're singing, the old Demogorgon doom music, Atramentus is advancing to the round of 180 albums. Have you heard either of these? Are you a Kenny Rogers fan? Do you like Funeral Doom? Can you rattle off a Funeral Doom band other than Evoken? Cheers. For the Typo Negative fans, Suspended at Dusk. Really slowed down Suspended at Dusk. The opening track reminds me of that at times.